Hi there, Chief Meteorologist Josh Cozart here with breaking news about that Burdoin Mountain Fire that has really just lit up over the past little while, specifically for parts of southwest Washington. This is just directly to the north of the Mosier area along the Columbia River Gorge. So this fire definitely ramping up as of late. We'll go ahead and give you just a little bit better of an idea of exactly how all of this came together over about the past, I would say, about 3 hours or so. The fire getting underway just around 3 o'clock. You can see some of the images below that was taken by our crews out towards the fire location during our 6 o'clock newscast. Just really devastating sights coming in as that fire weather warning still remains in place from the National Weather Service for the central and eastern sections of not only Oregon but also Washington. That's where 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which you can see with the wildfire smoke just pushing it horizontally as opposed to it billowing up vertically, showing that those winds are quite gusty coming through the Columbia River Gorge. This fire weather warning is set to expire at about 10 o'clock tonight, all as the winds start to settle down and our relative humidity value starts to grow once again. So that concern is definitely alive and well. We'll go ahead and get you some of the locations kind of honed in exactly at where this fire is currently burning. Again, it's in the southwestern section of the state of Washington, but the Cram Fire also still burning and nearing mega size. So you can read more about that right now at KOIN.com. That's where our westerly winds are still blowing close to about 35 miles per hour. Relative humidity value, we have seen it slowly start to climb, but again, that Burdoin Mountain Fire burning just to the north of the Mosier area. And Hood River seeing wind gusts at about 35 miles per hour. The Dalles nearing 45 mile per hour gusts screaming out of the Columbia River Gorge. And you got to keep in mind, in an area like this, these turn into downsloping winds where they go from higher elevations to lower, and that means and poses a bit of a threat for the potential for those fires to really start to ramp up across our area. So we are going to be keeping an extremely close eye on that. Right now, I want to go ahead and show you a story that our very own Ariel Yakabazi put together earlier today during our 6 o'clock newscast with the latest information. So take a look.
Let's get to Ariel Yakabazi. She's reporting from the Oregon side of the Columbia River, overlooking that fire. Ariel, since getting there, what have you been seeing in the past hour, hour and a half?
Liz, we've seen lots of flames, lots of smoke, and we just witnessed a structure appears to be a total loss. You can see that bright orange light, those are flames, and that black smoke is coming from what could be a home of some kind. Absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating out here. As you can see, black smoke, some type of cabin, maybe a mobile home of some kind. Again, there are level 3 go now evacuation orders in place for many parts, but if you take a look to the left of that structure, you can see this area is completely burned. You can see some hot spots as well, and a lot of the smoke is coming from the far left of your screen, and at the top of that hill you can barely see it. I can see it in person here, but you might not be able to see. There are power lines up there, and that's what fire crews are worried about. They're worried about those catching fire as well. So you can see several planes, they've been dropping retardant. We've had helicopters also dropping water, working as quickly as they can. In the last hour, we've also seen several emergency vehicles driving along the highway across the river on the Washington side, trying to get to those hot spots and put those out. We're trying to work to get more information about how many structures have been lost, but let's get one more look at this structure here on the right side. That's at least one that we've seen that has been completely destroyed. Certainly very devastating images out here along the Columbia River tonight. And this is a very developing situation. We're trying to learn more as far as, again, how many structures are lost, what we'll be seeing in the last hour or so. We'll continue to stay out here until the 10 o'clock hour and the 11 o'clock hour, and we'll bring you the very latest information on evacuation orders, how many structures have been lost, and if everyone is okay. Again, level 3 evacuation orders for many parts of the area. You can see these planes, massive planes. These ones are the ones that are dropping retardant and water to help stop this fire. We'll be out here with the very latest coming up later tonight. Back to you in studio.
Ariel and your photographer, Matt, thank you for that. It's just heartbreaking to see that. I mean, it's just a couple years ago, there was a big fire in that same area as well. I know you'll keep us updated tonight. Ariel, thank you.
Again, that was our Ariel Yakabazi reporting out towards the Mosier area as the Burdoin fire continues to scorch the landscape along the Columbia River Gorge. Very sad sights to actually see it consuming buildings right in front of our cameras earlier this evening. That threat still remains if fire crews really try to get the upper hand of that blaze. But overall, we are still expecting not only right now for those relatively moderate to high levels of fire potential still remaining for the central and eastern locations of our state. We do see some improvements during the overnight hours. That's due to the increase in relative humidity value and also those winds starting to taper back. But then it ramps back up again tomorrow as we move our way into the afternoon, evening hours. Again, anywhere from the low to the moderate, close to the high category. Still a very real potential for us as we move our way through the next 24 hours. Now, the winds, as far as this situation goes, keeping the wildfire smoke clear of the I-5 corridor. It's going to be pushing all of that smoke out towards the east. Of course, our latest weather models not necessarily picking up on this brand new fire, the Burdoin fire, again burning out towards southwest Washington. But we are expected to really see, hopefully, some improvements as our temperatures are expected to taper back. You can see our air quality still sitting at good levels, at least for the I-5 corridor. For locations down towards the south and eastern, falling back to that moderate category, that's still a very real potential as we move our way through the rest of this evening. I do want to go ahead and just kind of give you a little bit better of an insight for the Columbia River Gorge of where that fire potential still resides as our computer here just loads up. This is really going to be where we could see some of the dials really start to ramp back up. Pendleton's already at 7 right now. So that puts us towards the high category as we zoom into the Columbia River Gorge, anywhere from 5 to 6. Again, that's kind of leaning towards the high category of wildfire potential, of them starting and potentially spreading rapidly, or the ones that are currently burning, moving in unpredictable locations quite rapidly. So this is definitely an evolving situation, but the good news is we are expected to see this ridge of high pressure that has built overhead slowly push its way a little bit further off to the west as this trough of cooler air starts to work its way further to the south. It's going to be increasing our clouds, but also dropping our temperatures, and this really bodes well for the fire concern. So over the next 6 to 10 days, trending slightly cooler for us and maybe a better chance for some moisture for parts of Washington. Again, keep in mind, July typically our driest month of the year, and you can see those clouds already increasing tonight into tomorrow. That's where we expect to keep those temperatures slightly below the average of about 83 for this time of year. Really not expecting a lot of moisture at all, despite seeing some of the green popping up here on our simulated radar. We are expected to stay dry for tonight, 57 degrees. Tomorrow bouncing back up into the low 80s for us. And thankfully, our 7-day forecast really kind of showing that we are expected to be quite comfortable for us as we move our way through the next several days. So hopefully this will give the fire crews kind of the upper hand in allowing them to get a better handle on many of these blazes that are currently burning almost uncontrollably and spreading so rapidly during this fire season. So we're going to go ahead and leave you with that. Of course, we will have the latest information at KOIN.com on those evacuation levels as the Burdoin Mountain Fire continues to burn in Klickitat County in southwest Washington. And of course, our very own meteorologist Steve Pierce will be live on the 10 and also on KOIN 6 later tonight as well. Stay safe and hopefully enjoy the rest of your weekend as the fire threat still remains.